for a kiln, people use all different kinds of Raku firing equipment. Some people use old oil barrels, oil drums, with lined with refractory fiber. I actually use my first kiln, which is no good for electric firing anymore, but it's a perfect little Raku kiln. So when the flame goes in here, this flame splits, and then the flame just kind of like whirlwinds around under there. So I let it go slow for a while.
I knew it was instant gratification doing a Raku firing, but the first time I did it, I was kind of hoping for more copper to flash. I didn't get as much during the reduction fire, but everything came out awesome. I thought it would just come out like a regular kiln firing, but the colors were, to sound redundant, awesome.
Yeah, you can see the shining happening. It's starting. I'm gonna do it.
Are you gonna do it right now? Yeah.
You guys all ready? The process of rakuing is when you take the glazed work to the firing temperature so that the glaze is melted, and you remove it from the heat and put it in a trash can with anything combustible, and you cover the trash can and it snuffs out all the oxygen in the atmosphere in the can. Another word for that is reduction. And it causes a chemical reaction so that the glazes will become metallic and lustery.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is amazing.
You gonna put anything else in there?
Nah. I've seen Raku before. I really like it. The process is very primitive to be in that presence of the fire and everyone participating. To me, is almost like an ancient process.
There's no oxygen present in that process. But another thing is the glaze that we use for the Raku is generally a very low fire glaze, slightly lower than even low fire electric. So many things can go wrong with Raku. If the glaze doesn't get to temperature, it has like a dry, sandpapery texture to it, and the color doesn't show up very well.
What happened to mine? Mine bubbled up.
Sometimes it gets a little overcooked, and the glaze like starts dripping off the piece, and then it gets stuck to the shelf. But since the glaze is so wet, gooey when you first take it out, you can end up with sharp pieces of glass stuck to the bottom of your piece, which you can file off. It's not really that big a deal, but it's a real big stress on the clay, so it makes a lot of thermal shock. So there's a good chance that something you make is going to crack, but that's just part of the process. And I think glue is, epoxy is a nice little friend of Raku. The part I repaired is still on there. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna get the rest of the snake in here too.
Okay. Paste tubs or newspaper?
Paste tubs. There's more snake than this in there.
Okay. Need fans and stubs. That it?
Yep.
Kind of symbolic, burning my paychecks with the pieces that I would make. move that one.
Sorry, Rachel, I got really close to you.
That's okay. You only would have had to like buy me dinner. Take me on a date. Thanks, Chris. Is that it?
Yeah. Catch fire.
This is my first time rakuing. Like Maureen, I had seen pieces from Rachel and Ellen that had been rakued, and I was definitely drawn to the metallic finishes because even in my normal work, which is usually electric fired, I tried to get some of the more metallic finish glazes and such that that I can get because I do like that finish. I wasn't quite sure what to expect in the process, as I usually use the electric kiln. Things are usually, for the most part, predictable. I know if I'm going to throw a blue glaze on there, I'm going to get a blue glaze. With the Raku, it totally threw me. With you're just putting something in, and because of the reduction process, you're not sure what you're going to get in the final result.
Better glazes for so I can flash copper, because I really want stuff to flash.
Pieces are unpredictable. The colors are nothing like I really expected. Metallic, quite joyful. Some of my pieces broke, and I'm going to glue them together anyway.
I mostly work in Raku clay because I love doing this, and we do this whenever I ask, I hope.
This is such a speedy process for anyone who's got a little bit of a impatience to what your final result is. You get to see it so quickly as to compare to the normal electric process, where it's got about 9 to 10 hours of firing, and then you have to wait another day and a half for it to cool. You get to see your piece within half an hour, 40 minutes. And that part really I was drawn to, because I always am excited to see what the end result of any piece I make is.
I don't like to scrub it all off. Some people scrub it all off, and I like to leave some of that oil slick on it.
How well they had turned out, as seeing how, like I said, it was with the Raku, you're not sure what you're going to expect to see. I had put similar glazes on both of my pieces and got two totally different end results, and I couldn't have been more happy. I saw so much flashing copper on my pot piece, and the snake piece that I did, as even though it broke, which I was completely prepared for, I couldn't believe how well it turned out. Of course, I'm not going to ever expect that in every firing, but I was very pleased with the result.